In the heart of the Niger Delta, where the rivers weave through the land like threads of life, there lay a small village called Umocha. Umocha was a place where the old ways of the ancestors still whispered through the trees, and the people lived by the wisdom of the elders. It was here that a young boy named Chike grew up, a bright and curious teenager with a heart full of dreams. Chike was the pride of his family. His father, a fisherman, and his mother, a weaver, had high hopes for their only son. They sent him to the village school, where he excelled in his studies, particularly in biology. His teacher, Miss Adan, was a beautiful and intelligent woman in her late 20s. She had returned to the village after studying in the city, bringing with her a wealth of knowledge and a passion for teaching. Miss Adan was admired by all. Her voice was like a melody, and her explanations of the human body, the plants, and the animals fascinated Chike. He found himself drawn to her not just as a teacher, but as a person. Her kindness, her laughter, and her dedication to her students made her the most beloved figure in the school. As the months passed, Chike began to notice something strange in his heart. Whenever Miss Adan smiled at him or praised his work, his chest would tighten and his thoughts would wander. He tried to push these feelings aside, telling himself it was just admiration for her teaching, but deep down, he knew it was more. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Chike found himself alone in the school library. Miss Adan was there, grading papers. She looked up and saw him lingering by the door. "Chike, what are you still doing here?" she asked, her voice warm. I wanted to ask you something," he stammered, his heart pounding. She gestured for him to sit. "Of course. What is it?" Chike hesitated, then blurted out, "Why do you care so much about us?" "About me?" Miss Adan smiled softly. "Because I see potential in you, Chike. You have a bright future ahead of you. I want to help you reach it." Her words filled him with a mix of joy and confusion. He wanted to tell her how he felt, but he knew it was wrong. She was his teacher, and he was just a student. Yet the more he tried to suppress his feelings, the stronger they grew. One rainy afternoon, as the village was enveloped in a gentle drizzle, Chike and Miss Adan found themselves alone in the classroom. The other students had left early, and the sound of the rain created a cocoon of intimacy. Chike, unable to contain his emotions any longer, confessed his feelings. "Miss Adan, I think I love you," he said, his voice trembling. She stared at him, shocked. "Chike, you don't know what you're saying. This is not right." "But it's true," he insisted. "I can't help how I feel." Miss Adan's heart ached. She had always cared for Chike, but not in the way he was suggesting. Yet as she looked into his earnest eyes, she felt a pull she couldn't explain. Over the following weeks, their relationship began to change. They started meeting in secret, sharing stolen moments of affection. Miss Adan knew it was wrong, but she was lonely, and Chike's youthful passion was intoxicating. Months passed, and the village began to notice the changes in Miss Adan. She grew quieter, more withdrawn. Then one day the truth came to light. Miss Adan was pregnant. The news spread like wildfire through Umocha. The villagers were outraged. How could a teacher, a role model, betray their trust in such a way? Miss Adan was consumed by shame. She had always been respected and admired, but now she was the subject of whispers and judgment. She couldn't bear the weight of her actions. One night, under the cover of darkness, she went to the river, the same river that had nurtured the village for generations. She stood at the edge, tears streaming down her face, and whispered a prayer to the ancestors for forgiveness. Then she stepped into the water and let it carry her away. When Chike learned of Miss Adan's fate, he was devastated. He blamed himself for her death and for the pain he had caused. The village elders called for a meeting to decide his punishment. They gathered under the ancient Iroko tree, a symbol of wisdom and justice. Chike stood before them, his head bowed. The elders debated for hours, weighing the gravity of his actions against his youth and potential. Finally, the oldest among them, Izinuoki, spoke. "Chike, you have made a grave mistake, but you are young, and the spirits of our ancestors tell us that you still have a purpose. You must leave Umocha and seek redemption. Only then can you return and make amends." Chike accepted his fate. He left the village carrying the weight of his guilt and the memory of Miss Adan. He traveled far and wide, learning from different cultures and seeking ways to atone for his actions. Years later, he returned to Umyocha as a changed man, dedicating his life to educating others and teaching them the importance of respect, boundaries, and the consequences of their choices. The tale of Chike and Miss Adan became a cautionary story told by the elders of Umoja. It served as a reminder that love, while a powerful and beautiful force, must be guided by wisdom and respect. The story also highlighted the importance of seeking help and guidance when faced with difficult emotions, rather than giving in to temptation and despair. And so, the village of Umuocha continued to thrive, its people learning from the mistakes of the past and striving to live in harmony with the wisdom of their ancestors. This story is a blend of traditional African storytelling and modern themes, designed to be both engaging and thought-provoking. It emphasizes the importance of making wise choices and seeking guidance when faced with complex emotions. Let me know if you'd like to expand on any part of it.